Jesus was going through the cornfields, and as they made their way, his disciples began to pluck ears of corn. And the Pharisees were saying to him, "Look, why are they doing what is not lawful on the Sabbath?" And he said to them, "Have you never heard what David did when he was in need and was hungry? He and those who were with him, how he entered the house of God in the time of Abiathar the high priest, and ate the bread of the presence, which it was not lawful for any but the priests to eat, and also gave it to those who were with him. And he said to them, The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath." The Gospel of the Lord. My dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, today's readings are filled with powerful messages for us, for our spiritual life. In the first reading, we heard about how God asked Samuel to appoint a successor for Saul, the king, when he had lost favor with God. And Samuel, although being a religious man, a man who was close to God, cannot but fall into the human tendency to judge by appearances. But we hear God saying to Samuel, "Do not look on his appearance or the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees, but man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." In our social media age, there is this question about why it is so popular. The reason it is so popular is because it plays upon a lie, that our image is our identity. I watched this beautiful video where it kind of tries to tell us how to have a healthy relationship with the social media. And what are the 5 lies of identity that we buy into, and it draws us into that whirlpool of social media frenzy where we begin to look for the likes. What are these 5 lies of identity which come from the spiritual author Henry J.M. Nouwen? The first lie is that I am what I have. And so what do I post on social media? The food that I eat, the places that I go, how I look, the friends that I have, all in order to boost my self-esteem. The second lie is I am what I do. So my work is important, my designation is important, my position in society is important, and that's what I will flaunt. The third lie is that I am what people say about me. So if I don't get many likes on a particular post, then I'll feel bad. But when I get many likes on a particular post, then I'll be happy, but not so happy because there's no number of likes that are enough. And then you have the fourth lie, which is basically that I am no more than my failures. Sometimes when we face a failure or we have done something wrong, sometimes we ruminate and have scruples about that same wrong that we did or that same failure that we had. And that shapes our identity so much so that we feel low about ourselves. And the fifth lie is that I am no less than my successes. And so my successes go to my head and I begin to think that my identity lies in my success. God does not look at these appearances, but He looks at our heart. And our deepest identity is that we are beloved children of God. And this cannot be taken away from us. And as His children, we are called to be identified not so much by what we have, what we do, what people say about us, our successes or our failures, but we are identified by the mission that Christ has given to us, to love God and love our neighbor. And so we are identified not so much by all these things, but we are identified by the love that we can show to others. The religious people of Jesus' time, the Pharisees, also were caught in this trap of assessing people by whether they follow the Sabbath or not. God had given this law in order to help man to experience rest, with an intention to help human beings to flourish. But by Jesus' times, the Pharisees had begun to interpret the Sabbath law in very legalistic terms, so that even if they had to pluck grains from the field to feed their hunger, they considered it as work. And so Jesus steps in and weighs in on this tendency when he says, the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. Jesus came to set you and me free from these false securities, false senses of identity that we fall into a trap. May the Lord, who comes to us in this Eucharist, fill us with this conviction that we are the children of God, that we are worthy of love, and irrespective of what we have or don't have, do or don't do, people say or don't say about us, our successes or our failures, we are individuals who are worthy of love and capable of giving so much love to people around us. Amen.